Say MT.
Okay, here is my diabetes education. We've gone through the initial introduction. This is my education part with my husband, but also MT, the 55-year-old woman. Just kidding. Okay. All right, so your breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Do you know much about your diabetes diagnosis? Do you know much about diabetes?
No.
So do you know what's happening in your body?
No, that's the part I don't understand.
Okay, so diabetes type 2 is what you have, and that just means your pancreas isn't producing enough insulin in your body. So when you eat a carbohydrate or a starchy food, what's happening is your body is filling up with all of these sugar molecules, but you don't have any insulin that takes it to the rest of your tissues. And so you just have a lot of floating sugar, which causes hot flashes. It can cause increased irritability. It causes sweating. And then what will happen eventually is when you have diabetes or chronic illness, it's going to attack your healthy tissues, and then it will affect other organs as well. So it won't just be high blood sugars, but it will affect your kidneys. It can also affect your heart. So we need to get those blood sugars under control.
This may be a question for the doctor and not you, but will I be dealing with type 2 diabetes forever?
Yes. Yep. So it is.
That's the best case scenario.
It's a lifestyle change. It's going to take. This is a very difficult disease but it can be controllable. But it's going to take some work on your end and on my end to make sure that you can learn how to eat correctly and monitor your blood sugars.
So this was caused entirely by my diet?
Not necessarily. We don't necessarily know all of the causes of type 2 diabetes, but a lot of it could happen from being overweight. You also have high lipids, so your high triglycerides and your cholesterol attributes to that, along with where you carry your weight. So you have a high waist circumference, so that creates more insulin resistance. So it's not necessarily what you've done, it's the accumulation of genetics and other factors that are attributing to this disease. That make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. So what my job is, did not make sense?
No, it did. I just feel terrible about myself now.
Well, don't feel terrible about yourself. I can help you.
My waist size.
Well, I could help you with that. But it is part of getting older as well. But my job is I'm going to help you with your diet and try to go through, teach you what carbohydrates, fats, and proteins are, and then go from there. So do you know what carbohydrates are?
Carbs are most things that aren't protein.
Which one is a protein?
What?
What's a protein?
Proteins found in meat and dairy and supplements.
Okay. Yeah, so proteins are your animal and dairy, eggs, products. You can also get proteins from some beans, lentils, stuff like that. Carbohydrates are your breads, your pastas, pretty much all the good things in life. Your fruit is a carbohydrate. Sugared beverages is a carbohydrate. And then what about fat? Do you know what fat is?
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are your...
I do.
Okay. Those are your oils, your nuts, your seeds.
Do you want me to define them for you?
It's okay. So what we have to work on with diabetes is getting a more consistent carbohydrates. So right now you're eating quite a few concentrated beverages, which anything that's a liquid form of carbohydrate is going to absorb the quickest in your bloodstream and skyrocket your blood sugars. So in your labs...
And is that bad?
Mm-hmm. So your fasting blood sugar wasn't terrible, but your hemoglobin A1C is what we're concerned about. So your hemoglobin A1C, I know you've probably never heard of that before. So yours is an 8.5%. The A1C just means it's the average over 3 months of what your blood sugar is. So 8.5 is pretty high. We want you to be at least less than 7, but it's a doable number. You're just not used to seeing these numbers before. So fasting blood glucose, yours wasn't terrible. Yours was at 135, but that was fasting. So if you drank that orange juice, that's going to skyrocket that blood sugar to probably closer in the 300s. And I'm guessing that's when you feel your lethargy and your increased irritability. Your hot flashes would happen during that time because your sugars would be so high. So if we can limit the amount of orange juice, apple juice, your Coke, your sweetened tea, and when I say changing, we need to change it to sugar-free or diet, or reduce the amount that you're drinking. So apple juice, you're drinking 12 ounces. The serving size of that is half of a cup. So 4 ounces, about this big, is a serving of apple juice or orange juice. And so when you're drinking 12 ounces, you're getting 3 times the amount of carbohydrates. So do you know, I guess you wouldn't know this, but do you know how many carbohydrates we want you to have at each meal?
No.
Okay. So we want you to have about 45 grams at each meal, which is 3 servings of carbohydrates. So if you had orange juice at 12 ounces, so a serving is 4 ounces, how many servings would that be of carbohydrates?
I wasn't really listening there, but do most containers come as smaller than 12 ounces or larger?
It depends on how you purchase them.
So I have to look for containers that are smaller, like 4 ounces.
Yeah, so do you purchase your orange juice in by the carton, or do you purchase from a gas station?
No, by the carton, and I pour it in a thermos.
Okay, so you'll have to measure that out. Because if you drank that 12 ounces of orange juice, that's already your 45 grams of carbohydrates.
Right.
Which you can do that if you want to, but then we'd have to do proteins. So you'd have to do eggs, sausage. You couldn't do the oatmeal. And you couldn't do with.
I feel like I missed
sugar.
something that was really important when you were telling me how many grams were in this many ounces.
So that's 45 grams. That's your complete allotment.
I get 45 grams per meal.
If we can do less than, that would be great, because we do want you, if you can lose up to 10%.
How am I supposed to know this with all of the foods?
So you're going to meet with me every week for the next 4 weeks until we get this under control. This is a lifestyle. This is going to rock your world. So I'm here for you to change that.
Yeah.
There's a lot to diabetes, and changing your food at 55 is a big commitment, but it will make you feel better, and it'll help you prevent you from getting more diseases like kidney disease and heart disease. And you can live a normal life, which is the nice thing with diabetes. You just have to watch what you eat. I know it's overwhelming though. Okay. So do you think you could get rid of the orange juice and maybe do do you like coffee?
Yes.
Is orange juice a deal breaker? Can you get rid of your orange juice?
Yes.
Okay. Your instant oatmeal, do you love it? Is it something that you have to have, or
it's just so convenient?
Okay. What about, can you cook some hard-boiled eggs and have those in the morning ready to go? Or is it something that you like that's warm, that's more comforting, that you would like more?
Yes.
More comforting?
I don't know. I'm trying to make stuff up.
That's fine.
Hard-boiled eggs.
You could do that?
Yes.
Okay. And you can still have the instant oatmeal. What if we did an instant oatmeal that wasn't flavored? So the flavored kind has 32 grams, and it has 2 servings of carbohydrates in one package. But if you made your own instant oatmeal and then you added your own flavoring to it, you could get by with only 15 grams.
What do you mean add my own flavoring?
So you could add some nuts, or you could add some blueberries.
Carbohydrates and blueberries.
Yes, but there wouldn't be as many as if you just did the flavored instant oatmeal. And you're also getting some fiber with the oatmeal too. That makes sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Whole milk, 2 tablespoons. I'm okay with that. It's not going to make or break your carbohydrate. But let's try
I just need to keep it under 45.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And the more consistent you can be,
How many carbohydrates is that?
if you right now,
The whole meal?
right, of what you're eating
Yeah.
currently, it is 45. This is 100 grams of carbohydrates.
So
we
I need to cut that in half.
plus
Plus-
55 grams
plus-
you need to cut down. And that will make you feel a ton better. So I know this is overwhelming at first, but you are going to feel better if you can abide by lowering your carbohydrates. We're not taking away a ton of food, we're just adding more protein.
And so you
Fiber.
recommend replacing those calories, though, with fat and proteins.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And then for your lunch, I'm okay with your ground beef hamburger patty. The hamburger bun, I'm okay with. That's just 30 grams right there. Lettuce, tomato is great. And then if we can just cut out that apple juice, you can have all of that still. And then even if we added maybe some vegetables, do you like vegetables?
Yeah.
So we could add some vegetables, take out the apple juice, and you're still at close to 35 or 40 grams of carbohydrate. So that would fit perfect. So you don't have to change much with your lunch. Okay? Your snack, however, this is your vending machine at work. So we got to kind of plan accordingly for snacks. Because your Coke has a lot of carbohydrates in it, as well as that pretzel. So is a Coke, is it the caffeine that you're looking for? Is it just a sweet drink?
It's the caffeine.
So what about some coffee with?
Coffee.
Okay. Do you need it sweet? Because you could do stevia or like a sweet and low packet, something, or Splenda that would not add calories and it wouldn't raise your blood sugar. You could do that. And then instead of pretzels, what about, do you like carrot sticks or beef jerky or like a tuna packet at lunch? I know the tuna packet, you may, if you're around a lot of people, you may have bad breath, but
That's my best options.
what else do you have in mind? You could do, if you did coffee with your Splenda, you can have 15 grams here, so you could have a bag of like Lay's potato chips.
Lay's potato chips is better than pretzels.
I mean, pretzels is okay too. I think when I had your pretzels, sorry, I need to go back here.
I'm liking the nuts idea.
So you could do trail mix. That's, you have to watch your serving size. Yeah, so 1 ounce of pretzels is 18 grams of carbohydrates. So that would just be a little bit high. Sometimes I guess you could have your pretzels if you wanted to.
How much is in the Coke?
You cannot have Coke.
I know. Ooh, I like that.
There's 72 grams.
Cannot have Coke.
You cannot have it.
Period.
Mm-mm. This is a big reason why you have hot flashes and why you don't feel good.
Yeah, it seems like what I've drank for the last 25 years between the orange juice, the apple juice, and the Coke is the reason that I'm here in the first place. They need a warning label on the side of this.
That would be helpful, wouldn't it?
Yep.
All right, so do we have enough? And then hard-boiled eggs, you could also bring those too if you like some protein stuff.
It's too much hard-boiled eggs.
Okay. So did we?
It'd burn out.
Okay. Did we hit any options?
I think
that you liked
there could
with
be
trail
some
mix?
trail mix in the vending machine.
Okay.
I'll have to take a look.
Okay. Just be careful with serving size.
What about Twix?
You cannot have a Twix.
No.
You could have a Twix. You need to make sure they're either.
Peanut M&Ms.
You have to make sure just under 15 grams of carbs
15 grams of carbs
per snack.
for the snack. Got it.
So that's where you read labels. And I'll give you a handout on how to read a label.
I was gonna say, is this what you're giving me?
No, I'm going to give you a handout on serving sizes for carbohydrates. You're going to get a carbohydrate list of all the foods. You're also going to get
carbohydrates per meal. I need that.
Yep, you'll have that. And that comes with the serving sizes too. All right, so for dinner, your chicken breast that's baked, that's great. Your rice, now this is where we have to educate you a little bit more. So rice, you're having 1 cup. So a serving size of rice is 1/3 of a cup. You can still have your 1 cup if you want to, but that's 45 grams, so that would be your allotment. But you could do 1/2 cup, and that would be 30 grams. So you could still have your broccoli and your spicy black beans. 1/2 of a cup is a serving of carbohydrates. So you could do, if you cut out just 1/2 of a cup of the rice, your whole meal would fit. And cut out 1/2 a cup of black beans. And add more vegetables, so broccoli, I don't know if you like Brussels sprouts, cauliflower, any type of vegetable could work.
Instead of black beans?
No, you can still do 1/2 of a cup.
You're talking about
1 cup is
rice.
30 grams, yeah. Instead of because you're going to cut out 1/2 a cup of rice, and you're going to cut
Is
out...
it important that I'm at 45, 15, 45, and 45?
For what we're trying to accomplish, yes. You can, I'm okay if you go a little bit higher than that. Say you get 50 grams one meal, or you only have 40 to 35 grams one meal. But what we're also trying to do after we educate you on carbohydrates, proteins, and fats and how many to have, our next goal is to work on, I need you to lose 18 pounds, and that helps with your diagnosis. 18 pounds in 6 months. So I want you to lose 1 pound a week. If that's what you're wanting to do. So right now you're consuming about 2,800 calories. What you need to be consuming is about 1,500. We're not going to get there this week. We're not going to get there next week. The goal is to get there eventually. Because right now I'm just wanting you to learn serving sizes. The weight will happen after that, okay? So don't be too overwhelmed. I know you are right now. Okay. French dressing. I think I'm okay with, because this is also part of your, yeah, I'm okay with your French dressing. Sweetened iced tea. You can do iced tea. It just needs to be sweetened with something other than real sugar. So you can do Splenda. You can do
I'm guessing
stevia.
the pre-mixed sweetened iced teas are not.
Yeah, they need to be diet, or they need to say sugar-free.
So diet's good.
Well, it's a better option than anything that has sugar in it.
Just look at the label.
Mm-hmm.
Can you pass me that water?
Okay. So I know this is a lot to handle. So this snack, your peach cobbler and your whole milk, your whole milk is fine. That's 12 grams of carbohydrates. Your peach cobbler, though, your 3/4 cup, that has 68 grams of carbohydrates in it. And how many do we want for a snack?
15.
So if you have 68 plus 12, that's 80 grams right there. And so we want you to have 15. So snacks, instead of doing a peach cobbler, maybe we're going to do a plain Greek yogurt with some peaches in it. Add some sweetener. Is that something that you could do? I know it's just such a big change for you. And so I'm going to help you with, my goal is to help you with grocery shopping, to create meals and new patterns and new lifestyle. And that's why we're going to meet once a week for the next 4 weeks. So we can kind of go over this more in detail, because you're going to have questions, you're going to forget, and I'll be here to answer questions. So if you have any questions, feel free to call my office. Do you have any questions right now off the top of your head? Do you feel like what we've covered today is something that is doable for the next week, or that you can learn with all the handouts that I'll be giving you?
Yeah.
Do you understand the importance of getting your blood sugars under control and that lab of hemoglobin A1C, along with trying to get the waist circumference a little bit smaller too?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you sure? All right. That's all I have for you today. Thank you for your time, and I'll see you back here next week.